We'll check in with meteorologist Jeff Smith in just a moment for more on the storms and, of course, what's ahead. But let's begin tonight with Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger.
He's in North Plainfield, New Jersey, one of the hard-hit areas tonight, and where tonight's storm was deadly. Josh?
Yeah, Mike and Sade, this is really an awful scene right here on Greenbrook Road here in North Plainfield, New Jersey. I'm going to step out of the way, and we're going to not zoom in too tight. And I'll tell you why in a second. That Jeep that's there with a tree down on top of it, when the storm was at its worst, a bunch of cars had pulled over here to ride out the storm. We could show you some video of the scene here as well, as work crews and police are attending to this scene. That car, according to eyewitnesses, neighbors, was one of the cars that had been attempting to pass through here when the storm passed through. And the driver apparently had the misfortune of stopping right next to this massive tree, which toppled during the storm and landed right on top of that Jeep at the height of this storm. Also, in that moment, power lines came down, live power lines all around. So the people who were in this neighborhood who were hoping they might be able to help the person in that car could not get to that person to help the person. And so the presumption of the authorities here is that that person did not survive. They right now have a crane crew here on site trying to maneuver themselves into position to remove the tree from the scene. We spoke to several eyewitnesses who watched all of this happen tonight.
And then I heard a big boom. I couldn't see anything. I looked outside, I looked out my window, and I walked outside just to see if, because I heard the boom was close, and I see the tree in the car.
Then I looked to my right and I saw the tree on the car, and I had realized that the whole sidewalk had come up. A lot of people, it was raining, it was very chaotic. A lot of people were trying to look inside the car. The car lights were still on, and after some time we realized with the conditions of the storm and the size of that tree that most likely the person had been deceased.
And back live, you're looking now at a work crew. They just brought out that earth mover, and we head back this way, Matt. There's a police officer here. They're sort of trying to light a pathway for some activity to take place here in North Plainfield. This was part of a huge line of storms that passed through central Jersey late this afternoon, early this evening. A few miles south of here in Plainfield, an entire neighborhood had massive amounts of tree damage. Fortunately, no one hurt there, but take a look at the damage there. On Hillside Avenue in Plainfield, the storm came out of nowhere.
I didn't hear trees, I didn't hear anything. Just sideways rain, that was it. And you came out, then that's when we saw the trees.
Massive trees that stood at this intersection for generations uprooted in the storm, tossing a car in the air and this block into chaos.
I'm sorry, man.
Okay, thank you.
Donna Lynn returned to her home of 2 decades only to find her front yard tree had sliced through her roof.
I would have been up there. I would have been up there. So I'm grateful for that.
It ended up in the home office where she would have been working had she not taken the day off.
More available at fire headquarters.
The line of severe weather carved a path of destruction through central Jersey, hitting Plainfield especially hard, the city declaring a state of emergency. Work's already underway to clean up the mess, but it won't be quick.
We always had a fear, because especially the weather changing, all the storms, that it would someday do just what it did right now. And we spoke to the city several times to come out, and they, like my husband said, they trimmed. They just trimmed back a little bit and said that that's all they can do, the new growth of the tree, but other than that, they couldn't do anything. And now it has finally fallen. I am glad that I wasn't in there, that my husband wasn't in there, and that we're safe. So that's the most important thing. We can get another house, and I can get new furniture, I can get stuff, I can get new stuff that can be replaced, but I'm just glad that we're safe.
It's really amazing how in one storm some people can be so lucky and others, one person at least as far as we know, cannot. Back here a few miles away from there in North Plainfield, another block where this storm rolled through, a whole bunch of trees came down, and right now utility crews, crane crews working to try to take control of the situation. This is a tree service company that they're going to start to try to cut away that tree and then hope that the police and fire officials who are here can try to access the victim of this tragedy here tonight. We're live in North Plainfield, New Jersey. Josh Einiger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.